Sunday will be the second career meeting between Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen as starting quarterbacks. The first came in November of 2023, and these two put on a stinking show, combining for 5 TD passes, with each having a pair of rushing touchdowns. It was the first game in NFL history in which both quarterbacks had multiple TD passes and multiple rushing touchdowns. Philly won that game 37-34 at home in OT. Now here is what the reigning Super Bowl MVP and league MVP had to say about this week's matchup.
They're a really good team. They're a really good team then. They're a really good team now. It's a different time, obviously, but that's the most important thing. You know, attacking every day. Every day is important. Every day matters. Everybody's role is important. So just giving our best every day and preparing for this game.
To win the lottery, you got to buy a ticket. To win a Super Bowl, you got to make the playoffs. You know, getting into the playoffs is our ticket. Now what we do with that is up to us and going out there and executing each and every week.
Tim, put your Joe Brady hat on, right? Your offensive coordinator hat. If you're the Buffalo Bills offense, what part of your game plan should you focus on to attack Philly?
I'm leaning heavy on the run game. I'm going to give James Cook as many opportunities as I can. And look, I think that Joe Brady has had a desire to do that since, you know, going back to last year where, you know, he took over the play calling duties. I think I've just been surprised when I look at Philadelphia's front, how good they are on that defensive line, how people have had success running the ball on them. We saw the Bears do it, saw Washington do it. And so I think that it's just a natural way to attack them. And so I would expect them to do that, to come out trying to run the football and then let Josh do his things later. But that would be my plan going in the football game.
Yeah, Tim's absolutely right. This Eagles run defense is 23rd in success rate against the ground. Now, some of that is structural because they also play with the highest rate of light boxes in football. And Ryan, that doesn't matter who they're playing. I went back and looked at game plan against Chicago. Extreme amount of light boxes there. Light boxes against Detroit. This is just how Vic Fangio is approaching these games. And I have to admit, I'm not sure it's the right approach against a Bills team that, you know, struggles to win with their pass catchers. But it is how Philadelphia has played. And if they give them those light boxes, Buffalo's going to run on them all day long.
And the one thing we know about Joe Brady is he consistently calls the run, and he has one of the more underrated running backs in all of football in James Cook. That vision, that explosiveness, his ability to take a short gain and make it a touchdown. And so I do wonder if he'll change some of that if this game gets to going in the wrong direction for the Philadelphia Eagles. Now let's pick this game, and let's see which one of us is going to make sure we don't get screenshotted. And it's me. Tim, tell me why you're going. Tim, tell me why you're going with Buffalo.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of fool's gold looking at Philadelphia's recent success running the football. Their biggest run last week should have been a negative 3-yard play. So I'm not buying into that. I do think the kind of the plan is clear for Buffalo. They have had a few struggles at home. I don't think that that's something that's here to stay. And so I'm going Buffalo for those reasons.
Yeah, this is one of the more important games of the week. Their yards allowed are the 4th fewest over the last 15 seasons, trailing only the 2023 Browns, the 2014 Seahawks, and the 2011 Steelers. I mean, that's a playoff team. We know a little bit about them sitting here in the host seat. And somehow we all know and love the leading tackler on the Steelers, who was me. That's who. All right, guys, so let's flip it now and see. I didn't write that, by the way. Lydell wrote that, and I wasn't going to read it, but then I saw it after I already said my part, and that's why I said it. Tim, do you expect this Texas defense to go after Justin Herbert this week?
RC, let me just first say this, okay? We live in a very negative society, social media, things like that. Take your victory laps when you can take them, man. Like no shame in doing that whatsoever. No shame in doing that, okay? Take those victory laps when you can take them, okay? So that's what I would say there. As for the Houston Texans and their defense, look, the big thing for me is how good they are up front, right? Like we oftentimes talk about about when you can't win up front, what are you doing to generate pressure? What are you doing to get home and create pass rushes and do all that stuff? And RC, you know, being a leading tackler, being a guy that's played in the secondary. Look, when you bring pressure, man, it can help you. But listen, it leaves voids too. Yeah. When you can rush 4, which the Texans do a lot, man. They play a lot of like 3 deep, rush 4, like they do that. Like, and when you can do that, and oftentimes actually in longer scenarios, they'll just rush 3 and they'll still end up getting home. When you can do that, just you're better on the back end as well in terms of how you can cover. So that to me is the key for them, and it also is the thing that the Chargers struggle with the most. They're not good up front on offense, and they're facing probably, you know, the best front in football. So, you know, I think that, you know, really leans heavily into the Texans' favor.
I think the other thing that's big about this game is the ability of the playmakers on the back end. You mentioned only being able to rush 3 or rush 4. That oftentimes gives guys like Jalen Petrie or Kamari Lassiter, you know, Derek Stingley Jr. opportunities to see the football and get the ball. There are 4 guys on the back end that have 4 interceptions this year. Derek Stingley took a pick 6 to the house last week against the Las Vegas Raiders. And so for Justin Herbert, who knows about this secondary after throwing 4 interceptions last year, which was 1 more than he threw the entire season, protecting the football when he's pressured is going to be extremely important for this team, who has a defense that could keep them in the game with the Houston Texans. So that's what I want to get to you about, Mina. Jesse Mentor has done an amazing job with this Chargers defense. What do they have to deal with, or how will they deal with C.J. Stroud working to disrupt him?
They got to figure out a way to take away the middle of the field or make it hard for him. You know, C.J. Stroud struggled last week quietly. Like, nobody watched the game against the Raiders, but he was up and down, Ryan. And what I noticed is something I have noticed with him at times, which is occasionally throwing outside the numbers, he can have issues with accuracy, throwing out. Whereas over the middle of the field, he is, in my mind, one of the 2 or 3 best passers in football. So now you got a Chargers defense that is exceptional on throws outside the numbers, but can be had, and some of that is structural. They play a lot of split safety, you know this. If I'm Jesse Minter, and I'm looking at what this Texans passing attack does on inbreakers, crossers, digs, that's what I'm trying to take away from C.J. Stroud, because that's how they kill you. And if you can take that away, if you can create some traffic there and force them to work outside the numbers, I think that's where I start feeling better about the Chargers from a matchup perspective.
Well, I didn't hear the goal.
Wow.
There it is. You know, this is actually a strange pick. I expected one of us to pick, but it's only 3 of us. I expected one of us to pick the Chargers with the way that Justin Herbert is playing, and also this defense giving them a chance to win. But these are teams that could see the Bills in the playoffs, so it'll be exciting to watch which defense can affect what quarterback the most. And coming up,